but he saw me naked, and he lives in our estate. If you have never lived in a place where you are so afraid for your life that at some point you stop cooking in your room, like you are being careful with things you eat, you don't know what God has done for you. So, hey people, what's popping? Kilo Shele, again in Name. Let's go there. Okay, wonderful people, beautiful people. It is your favorite Achalugo, Chidera Giselle on the microphone. If you are new here, hi, I am Dara and you're welcome to my channel. So this topic I am about to talk about today, it is something that everyone has experienced or may have experienced, or you may know somebody, know a close person that has had this kind of experiences. So if you are here and you have never had roommates or housemates palaver, you don't know what God has done for you. If you have never lived in a place with somebody, in a space with somebody, and you people don't talk to each other, you don't know what God has done for you. If you have never lived in a place where you are so afraid for your life that at some point you stop cooking in your room, like you are being careful with things you eat, you don't know what God has done for you, because people are really going through it. Now, I saw a post on Twitter that made me to come and sit down and make this video, because some persons, they actually see signs before they start living with this person, but they just ignore the signs, or they just meet a random person and start living with the person. So I'm just going to read the post and then I'm going to tell you guys what I think. So this Twitter user Ryan Agada, she tweeted, "I am so angry. Yesterday I got back from work, showered and just laid down on the chair to rest. I usually don't wear anything when I'm home, and my roommate is aware of this. She must have also known that I was home because my shoes were outside the door. But this girl came inside the house with a guy and I was stark naked. She didn't call to ask if I was home or to say she was having a visitor over. She just opened the door with her keys and they walked in. The guy then said sorry and went outside. But he saw me naked. And this guy lives in our estates. I was angry and I asked her why she didn't inform me she was coming home with a visitor. And she told me it's her house. She doesn't need to take permission from me before bringing someone. She got the place and I paid the rent to her. I couldn't sleep because of anger. Please, what do I do? Because I really want to do something about this. Tell me, please." So like, I saw this tweet and I was like, especially that part where she said, "But he saw me naked and he lives in our estate." And I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, I don't know the background story, but I went through the tweets and people were asking her how she met the girl, were they friends or something like that. And she was telling them that, oh, it's all this post online, like you'll be online and sometimes I see it online. If you are living in Lagos and you're interested in sharing a flat or you're interested in sharing an apartment with somebody, there's a house available in Lagos Island, 2-bedroom flat, you're going to pay so amount, and then you see people indicating interest. Even in school, a lot of persons did it. Like, you're just walking around school, either you see a post or you see something that they printed, they put it somewhere, in need of a female roommate, please contact so number, and people go ahead and live with these people. And I know that it's not easy, like it's really not easy, especially in somewhere like Lagos, paying rent and all that is not easy. But like, I cannot be comfortable with that, living with somebody. Like, there has to be something in common, somewhere I know you from, probably school, or we ran a course together, or you are the sister to my friend, or we attend the same church. Like, there has to be something in common. I'm not saying that people still don't enter trouble with people that they have something in common with, because my friend Ada had a very terrible experience in Ibadan with housemates. Like, at some point she was scared for her life. At some point I even had to text that girl and tell her that if anything happens to Ada during her duration in Ibadan, that it is her we are going to hold. Like, we're scared, not like the girl threatening her life or anything, but like the way the girl was just so malicious, the messages the girl used to send to her. And I'm like, yes, I know nobody is perfect, and oh, she may be doing something to you that you do not like, but you too, you're doing something to her that she does not like, and she's not reacting in that way. So why are you reacting that way? Why are you being malicious? Why are you full of so much hatred? Why do you think it's cool to tell your fellow adult something like this? So like a lot of things actually happen. Me personally, I've lived in a room with someone. I don't say the time of my life it was, but the whole vibe was so off. Not like we had any confrontation, because I'm the type of person that I know how to stand up for myself, but like at that point the vibe was so negative. Like I could feel this negative vibe, and I told my mom. I remember my mom telling me that I should be careful, I should stop cooking in the room and all that. So I stopped cooking. Like if I should cook, I'll eat it at once. If I know that, oh, I have enough money, I will eat out. And as at then, it was very cheap to eat out. With 500 or 1k, you don't eat out. So I'd rather eat out, or when I come back with the food, I'll warm it and eat. Like it was just one time cooking I was doing, because I didn't want to leave my food and go outside and I'm sharing the same room with this person, because I no longer felt safe. Like I no longer felt safe. I was afraid, oh, what if this person should put something inside my food? What am I going to do? I would not know. I will come and eat it, because you are vulnerable at that point. And this whole roommate thing is so risky that many people actually say that they cannot share room or house with anybody that is not family again, because we have heard stories, we have seen things. Like there are a lot of things. Yeah, there was even a point in time I was living with somebody that she complained about everything. Everything was a problem for her. Every little thing she has complained, everything she's having an issue with it. She's really meaning into things, and she would even call her mom and like be saying things about me to her mom. Meanwhile, my mom didn't even know that I was having any issue like that, because I'm that type of person. Before I start calling my mom, I start telling my mom about something that is going on. That means that thing don't reach me. I always like sorting out my issues myself. So I felt really bad and all that. Although she didn't really stay, she later left the house after like a month or 2 months, and I kept on reaching out to her that when are you coming back. But at the end of the day, she came back one day and took all her stuff and left, and I'm like, cool, as long as we didn't have any quarrel, any serious fight. But I felt it was really unfair, because you knew I didn't deceive you. I didn't tell you that, oh, this house is this and that, and you were the one that said you wanted to move in with me in the house and pay a certain amount, that you wanted to live in so location, and since the location of my house was okay, you wanted to move in, and you moved in. And now you're making it sound like I swindled you and I deceived you into taking a house. Anyways, while picking a roommate or a housemate, especially if you're already in the real world, like you're no longer in school, because if you're in school you can decide to move out after a session, but like if you're in the real world and you want to have a stable life for like 3 to 5 years, and you want to live with somebody, because that's one of the ways to cut down costs. Like now I'm living with 2 of my friends and we are living in peace. We have had family members come over to stay over, and everybody acts like family. In fact, our neighbors in the compound, they want to ask me about my housemates. They always ask me, how are your sisters? Because we live like family. So the first thing I'm going to be mentioning is that you have to be prayerful. The power of prayer cannot be overemphasized, because if you tell me how I happened to live, if you ask me how I happened to live with these 2 persons at the same time, I'm not going to be able to explain it, because it was just life. It was just like fate. But I know that I handed my journey in Lagos over to God, and God has been showing himself. God has been showing that he knew I was coming to this state, and he's going to make everything perfect for me. Like it's not like we don't have our flaws. I don't know if you get, I know I'm flawed. I know the people I'm living with, they have their flaws, but we are just generally tolerant people. We are generally understanding people, and we realize that we are living with our fellow adults, and in as much as we behave like sisters and all that, and we are living in the same apartment, we still have our boundaries. Yes, so that's number 1 thing. Number 2 is to be tolerant. I already mentioned it. You have to be tolerant. Like you have to understand that this person you are living with did not grow up in the same background with you. Like that is one thing people don't understand. That is why many people have all these roommate issues. You want a full-grown adult to behave exactly the way you behave. You want the person to keep their spoon exactly where you keep your spoon. You want the person to spread clothes exactly the way you spread clothes. You want the person to you have to be tolerant. I know that sometimes it can get really annoying, especially if you're living with a messy person that messes things up. That one, I don't understand though. I don't really understand. I know they tolerate so that kind of thing. But like, you have to be tolerant. There are some things you see, there are some things that are better left unsaid. There are some things you see. In fact, instead of you to say it out, say it in your mind. Forget that thing they always say your mind. Say it in your mind. Tolerate, understand. Because even if you were living with your sibling, they will be doing some things that you don't like. Your siblings your sibling that grew up in the same house with you, with the same parents, they will do some things that you don't like. Then imagine somebody from another background, but you people are just sharing a space. Imagine how it's going to be. So you have to be very, very tolerant. Number 3 thing you have to consider when living with somebody, either as a roommate or a housemate, is that you have to be considerate. Like, you have to be considerate. You have to consider the other person. You have to always put yourself in the other person's shoes. This thing I'm keeping here now, if it's my housemates that kept it here, am I going to like it? This visitor that is coming to the house, if my housemate brings a visitor and does not inform me beforehand, am I going to be happy about it? The way this girl, I just read her post on Twitter, the way she was naked, she was not putting on anything, and her roommates, if her roommate should ask herself, if I were the one naked and my housemates, my roommates brought in a guy, am I going to be happy about it? Am I going to take it? I feel like the world would be a better place. And even the person that is staying naked, because actually I don't really want to dive into that, because I have an issue with it, like being stark naked. I understand that we're ladies and sometimes you can be, but if you're always naked, some people don't like it, but the roommate should have said it instead of bringing in a guy. That's so wrong. Like, I remember when I was in 300 level, so there was this particular girl in my room. So it was a room of 5 or 6 persons. This girl used to stay naked, like no panties, like nothing on, and it used to irritate me. I'm not going to lie. Like, it always got me so angry. Like, and I did not know how to speak out. I didn't know how to say it because I was new in that room. I didn't start the first semester with them. I came in the second semester, but it was very, very uncomfortable for me. It's different if you're wearing singlet and pants or something, but like, you're not wearing anything at all. So like, we should all be considerate. We should always be putting ourselves in other person's shoes. But that's not a justification for what that girl did, because what she did was so wrong, so bad. She should have called the girl. She should have entered and confirmed. If you're cutting the man's, if you're entering your house with the opposite gender, you should always enter, confirm that the other person living with you is in a good position, like the person is well dressed. Inform them beforehand self. Like, why are you bringing a guy into the house and the other person is just finding out when the guy is already in the house? That's so wrong. They should already know beforehand. So we should all be considerate. Yes. The 4th point is you should not live with strangers. I think I mentioned it somehow at the beginning part of this video. Like, una they try, una they take risks, una get mind. I would not advise anybody living with strangers. I understand that sometimes people can be in debt, but if you can, please don't live with a stranger. If you can, please, except it's beyond you. And if you're living with a stranger, if you notice some kind things, I beg, speak out. Ask for help. Yes. The 5th thing to consider is the fact that not all your friends should be your roommates. What did I say? Not all your friends should be your roommates. There are some friends that you should keep your friendships outside your living space. Like, you people will be really good friends. People can be really good friends, vibe together outside, like vibe together. The person can be your best of friend and everything. But if you live with that person, you people will have issues. So like, everybody, we should always know the kind of friend that we live with. It is not to say that you're perfect, but you know the kind of person that if the 2 of you stay in the same space, your personalities are going to clash. So you should always consider that not all your friends should be your roommates or your housemates. The 6th thing is that you should check yourself too, because you may actually be the problem. You may think that the other person is the problem, that the other person is doing too much, the other person is not considering you, but you may actually be the problem. So everybody thinks that they are good people. That's one thing in this life. Like, we all think we are good people in our heads. So you should check yourself too. Like, it is always good to sit down, think, have a sober reflection. Have a self-reflection. Tell yourself, oh, if I were living with somebody that behaves the way I behave, are we going to be living in peace? Like, it's always I always tell myself the truth. I'm my greatest critic. Like, I criticize myself a lot, and sometimes I even tell myself that I beg, cut yourself a slack sometimes. So like, that is how I always check myself. I always say, if someone should do this to me, if someone should speak to me like this, am I going to like it? If I'm living with somebody and the person is always nagging, am I going to like it? So it always helps if everybody should check themselves out. You may actually be the problem, but you don't know. The next point to consider is that you should always work with your budgets. I've had people living with roommates, and the roommates will come today, say they are contributing for so thing, and the thing is outrageous. I don't know if you get, like, it's outrageous. The person is a type of person that likes expensive things, that doesn't work with budget. The person wants to buy let's say there's a cleaning material that people need in the house. It's the most expensive one that the person wants. The person does not understand that, oh, it's not everybody that's always buying, and the person always wants you to contribute for so thing. Maybe the person wants to fix the parlor or the living room, and the person wants it in a certain way, and the person wants you to bring that money at that time. Like, so you always have to check your budget, check the lifestyle of the other person, check that the person has a similar mentality with you, because it's a problem if you're living with somebody and the person does not have a similar mentality. Every time people are arguing, people are not agreeing on things, the person's lifestyle is too expensive. And I know that contentment should be a virtue. Everybody should embrace contentment, but see, there's something that living with somebody that the person's lifestyle is way beyond your means will do to you. It will make you to start, like, no matter how contented you are, I know what I'm saying, because sometimes there are type of persons that you're going to be around, like, especially when you're living with them, you start telling yourself that, I don't have this thing, I don't have this one, no, maybe I'm not doing well, how am I earning just how much, look at what's my. So please always check things out and see, and most persons will not have problems, trust me. Look guys, this video is already very long, and I plan not to make it long. Anyways, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for all your love and all your respect. I mean, all your love and all your support all these years. And look, I respect. Well, people respect me because people don't leave hate comments for me. So thank you so much for the love, support, and the respect. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a huge thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a kind comment, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, subscribe to this channel, share this video. Let's move this ministry to the permanent site, and let's pass this message across. And hopefully I am going to be seeing you guys in my next video. For now, bye, kiss, love ya.